Hey, so you're doing a great job and all, but I kind of feel like you should be a little bit more of a failure. Let's grab some coffee and let's talk about it. Today I am making Stay Golden coffee from Nashville, Tennessee, kiwi and dark chocolate. Hecka delicious. All right, let's get into it. Welcome to Coffee Break. My name is Skylar. I'm a director and a producer here in the Atlanta area. This is Coffee Break, where we talk about filmmaking and coffee. So let's get right into this. I think you should be more of a failure. I think I should be more of a failure. And I just generally think that we should all just fail a little bit more. Therefore, just live a life of failure. But let me explain myself, because this is what I mean by this. When I first initially launched Urbana, I was working a full-time job and it was a corporate position, and we just had like this red camera laying around, and the boss that I had at the time was very generous, and he's like, hey, if you want to use this if you want to use this equipment, feel free to use it whenever you want. And that kind of launched the beginning phases of Urbana.
Yup, life doesn't ever change much from day to day, except for the occasional run-in with a grizzly. That darn grizzly.
We dropped our first short film in 2015. After that, we dropped the second sketch, and that kind of launched this like cycle of like, hey, let's keep making these short films, let's keep making these sketches. And so a lot of us had not been on any big like film productions. We were still trying to figure out what it is in film that we actually want to do. Do we actually want to do film? And so launching this production company, the philosophy around it was, let's fail now so that we don't fail later when it actually matters. And so that's exactly what we did.
Was that cream-filled?
Bavarian.
I'll take two.
And we kept this up for a while. I think it was like 1 or 2 years that we continued like this. So, and then it kind of started to make sense that as a business, we needed to transition into whatever's next. And that's when the focus kind of shifted to like creating episodic content. And that led us to creating a pilot of the TV show that I've mentioned here before. But if you've ever pursued something that is that large of a project, it takes a lot of time. So you don't get to do these casual sketches or try your hand at some different styles of comedy. Like you're pretty focused on that one project. And I worked on that project for, I don't know, maybe 2 years. And I just continued to have these ideas that I would jot down in a notebook or jot down in the notes on my phone. And I was like, I just have to like finish this TV show idea so that I can move on and play around with some of the other ideas, these characters that I had in mind. At the time, we also had our first child. My wife was on maternity leave. I was on paternity leave. When you have a kid, between crying, she sleeps. I was like, man, I've got all these ideas in my notebook. I have to make something again. There were different ideas for one-off sketches. There were different ideas for characters that I would love to have in another TV show or a web show or something. And I was like, I gotta figure this out. So what ended up happening is I made 12 different sketches in 1 month.
Dude. Jeff?
So I went back to the same philosophy that we had started out with Urbana, is like, I've just got to make this stuff. I've got to fail now so that I don't fail later. Like these characters, I want to do stuff with them later, but I need to know if they even work on screen. I need to know if these characters and these actors actually play out the way that in my head they play out. So I proceeded to write this really quickly. I proceeded to film as much as possible and put all of these characters in the mix together. Like jokingly, I called it the Urbana-verse. Getting all of this onto screen and figuring out what works. There are failures in that. There are successes in that. But the idea was still the same. It's like, I want to fail now so that later when it matters, I'm not failing.
New lead coming at ya.
Where can I see this?
I think the internet.
We did it all within 30 days, released it with the 12 weekdays leading up to Thanksgiving. It was called the 12 Days of Thanksgiving, and then about a year later, I repurposed it as one 15-minute episode. So now it's called Suburban Heights, and you can actually watch it as one whole 15-minute episode. I just spilled the coffee on my jeans. Dang it. So, okay, cool, Skylar, you did something. You made something while you were on paternity leave, and you're so cool, and congratulations, you did it within 30 days. Yeah, I get it. But here's the point that I'm trying to make with this. Start failing more. There's so much that I learned from that I would definitely not do the same anymore. Or there's so much I learned from that I would definitely do more of the same. So starting in quarantine last year, I had this sticky note on my desk, and it's still on my desk. It says, recapture the enjoyment, don't overthink it, and share it. And that's something that I've had to keep on my desk the entire time throughout this whole pandemic, where it feels like there's nothing I can be doing. It's like, just go make stuff. Fail now so you don't fail later, but your failures now will build to successes later. You'll learn so much by failing. So yeah, be a little bit more of a failure.
Okay.
So there you go. Go make stuff, fail, and go make more stuff. And if you wanted to check out Suburban Heights, it's on YouTube. I'll link it right here. And until next time, peace.